Russia's 2-0 start was fueled by their offensive attack. But a gritty American team neutralized Russia's weapons.
Sarcapello scores!
Now trying to play catch-up in Group B, Malkin and company take on Denmark. Meanwhile, Roman Josi and the Swiss try to solidify their standing in Group A against Latvia. It's all at the Worlds. It's all on day 6. Now. It is hump day of week 1. Switzerland, Latvia over on TSN 5 at the O2 Arena in Prague. A cooler day there today. Russia, Denmark at the Ches Arena in Ostrava. Evgeny Malkin, Russia will play Denmark in Ostrava. Nicholas Hart, one of the key figures for the Danes, looking for their first win. Going to be tough against the Russians. Reto Berra for Switzerland coming off a 1-0 win yesterday. And Latvia still winless. Kasper Dogovic. That game on TSN 1, 3, and 4. Hi, everybody. Rod Black along with Dave Reed. Welcome back to our World Championship coverage. Big day in 4 hours for Canada. A day off yesterday after their win against the Czech Republic. They're undefeated. They have Sweden.
Back-to-back games with the Czech Republic and Sweden for Canada. This is the second of their 2 big games in their Group A. So they want to end up number 1, and to beat Sweden, you will end up number 1. So this has been a busy week for Canada. The games, I shouldn't say they get easier, but you don't want to look past Sweden to the easier game. So it'll be a very entertaining game. Should be lots of offense.
You've got to play 7 games in preliminary round, get to the quarterfinals. Here's today's schedule. Again, Canada, Sweden at 2, along with Slovakia and Norway. And this morning we have Switzerland and Latvia, Russia and Denmark. Russia coming off a loss to the United States. The Danes losing to Belarus yesterday and also losing 2 players because of suspension. Jesper B. Jensen has been suspended because of this hit that was not penalized.
Andre Stoss had some dental work after this hit. Amazing that there was no penalty on the play.
And then Matthias Bau also suspended for a head hit. So they're without 2 players today, the Danes.
This was a penalty. It's interesting. There they are. They're going to be watching this game, but the interesting one was a penalty. One was not a penalty. In this tournament, normally anything hits to the head, anything hit from behind is an automatic 2 minutes. Only one of those was called. But both players have supplemental discipline afterwards, and they're both out.
They're both out. Let's go to Ostrava now. To join the game will be Dennis Bayak and Shane Knighty.
So with the suspensions, a short-staffed Denmark team, and Shane possibly going against an angry Russian team.
Yeah, a frustrated Russian team. In that loss to USA, they lost 4-2. They weren't able to really generate much offensively. Credit to the way U.S. played in that game. Evgeny Malkin, Vladimir Tarasenko, no points through their first 2 games. Ilya Kovalchuk, he showed frustration in that U.S. game. They've been led by Evgeny Dodonov. He's in a tie for the tournament lead with 6 points. And right now, Denmark is going to be in tough against a motivated Russia team.
And for Denmark, Jesper B. Jensen is suspended. Nicholas B. Jensen draws into the lineup. But for Denmark, their big games will come this weekend against Norway and Slovenia.
Going to be awfully tough for Denmark, coming off a loss, losing 2 players, and facing a very angry bear.
And the reason they're an angry bear is because they lost to the USA. And a lot of the reports out of Russia are that Russia lost to a college team. Now, I wouldn't really call USA
a lot of college
team. Yes, there are. You've got Dylan Larkin as one, and of course you've got Jack Eichel as another. But it's still there. Everybody else is pretty much an NHL caliber hockey player. But in Russia, they didn't like the fact that they lost. Even their coach said that they have to be better in the 50-50 battles, which means that they didn't compete hard enough. And that's where, in this game, Denmark is going to be challenged, because if the media in Russia challenges the players, the coach challenges the players to say they have to play better, I suspect that Denmark is going to see the angry bear rather than the friendly bear.
Russia lost to a team of American U.S. players once before, remember? Back in 1980. Let's go to the standings now. So far, in Group B, United States, Slovakia, Belarus, and Russia. So you can see where the Russians are. Again, you get 3 points for a win in regulation. Over to Pool A, that's where Canada resides later today against Sweden. Don't forget, and this game, Switzerland and Latvia. Ray Ferraro has the day off, so Gord Miller is standing by with a guy who knows Switzerland well.
Thanks, Ron, alongside former Swiss national team head coach Sean Simpson. And Sean, this is a real crossroads game for these two teams today.
It is, Gord. Switzerland won the last two games. They can make a big step towards the quarterfinals with a win today. Latvia, they have to get in the tournament here. 0-3, although they've played the top teams in the group, they got to get into it today, and they need to win big time.
Who's the key for Latvia?
Has to be Kasper Darnovic, former Ottawa Senator, plays for Dynamo Moscow in the KHL, and 2 goals already in the tournament. He has to lead them today.
All right, so Switzerland, a good performance 2 years ago in this tournament, won a silver medal. Must have been the coaching. Rod?
See what happens? You win that medal, you become a broadcaster. Oh, boy. So Switzerland and Latvia, Russia and Denmark, as we also look ahead to Canada and Sweden later today. Day 6 begins at the Worlds.
The 2015
Team Canada against Team Sweden. The rivalry continues. 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. 4th game for both teams. Canada undefeated in its pool. It's on TSN 1, 3, 4, and 5 under 4 hours from now. But we got 2 games this morning. And before we get to those games, let's talk about Canada-Sweden. The last time the World Championship was in Prague, guess who met in the final?
Canada-Sweden.
Oh, good.
Good guess.
And Canada won, by the way.
Well, this is going to be a battle for Canada in this game because both of these teams are offensive-minded, and Sweden has got some dynamic goal scorers. We saw it in the National Hockey League. Philip Forsberg, Nashville Predators, can score goals with the best of them. He had 3 goals versus Austria. And then you've got Louis Eriksson of the Boston Bruins. He had actually 4 goals, but they didn't count one, so we give him a hat trick against Latvia. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who led Arizona in scoring, is fantastic on the back end. He had the most goals in the National Hockey League. That's why he got the game winner in the shootout. As you can see,
yeah, they both
offense
score.
and offense. Now, I don't expect both teams to score close to 7 in this game, but the key is there are 18 players for Sweden, 20 players for Canada with points. Both teams are deep in scoring and have got talent throughout their lineup. Taylor Hall, by the way, the hat trick for Canada against Germany at 10-0 win.
Probably not going to be a 1-0 game. Just thinking. Starting goalies are brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Everybody knows Sergei Bobrovsky, followed the National Hockey League in Columbus, lost his first game in his World Hockey Championship career to the USA. Last game 4-2. Sebastian Dahm, that save percentage in the Danish Elite League in Redova at .927 will be challenged against Russia. For Switzerland, it's Red O'Bara from the Colorado Avalanche. Edgar Masalskis didn't start against Canada, but he came back in. He's 35 years old in his 11th World Championships, and this should be a great game. A real battle.
I think he's in Duck Dynasty, too. I'm just thinking. Switzerland, Latvia, O2 Arena with the Bunnies in Prague. Russia, Denmark, Ches Arena in Ostrava. Cloudy day in the Czech Republic. But the sun always shines at the Worlds. Enjoy.
Welcome to Day 6 of the 2015 World Hockey Championship. Today from O2 Arena in Prague, it is Switzerland taking on Latvia. Now, the Latvians are 0-3 in the tournament, but they've already played Canada, the Czech Republic, and Sweden. And as Sean Simpson mentioned, the toughest games for Switzerland are still ahead. They've got those 3 teams. The Swedes, Canada, and Czechs still have to go on the menu. There is Glenn Hanlon, coach Belarus in last year's World Championship, twice the head coach of that team, and previously the head coach of Belarus in the World Championship. And Alexander Zbalauskas, former captain of the Latvian national team. And Latvians do travel well, Sean.
They have great fans. In fact, both groups today are fantastic. They get lots of fans from both these countries, and the Latvians are known for the atmosphere in the building, for sure. It should be exciting.
So a lot on the line for both, and some hard memories for Switzerland in Sochi.
Yeah, we had 2 games last year. I was the coach of the Swiss team the last 5 World Championships. We lost them at the Olympic Games.
That knocked Switzerland out of that tournament and sent Latvia on to a quarterfinal match against Canada, which was a 1-1 game until late in the 3rd period. So Switzerland moving ahead quickly. Andres Ambul looks ahead for Simon Bodeman, and Bodeman loosely behind the Latvian goal. Drop down out of Roman. Yossi works into the blue line. Yossi spins it back at the point. Lots of early puck movement here by Switzerland as Ambul peels back in the corner. There's looking back to Yossi. Now the centering pass for Albiol misses, and it's back down to the Swiss zone. Switzerland, 10th last year, a silver in 2013, went 9-0 through the round robin in that tournament before falling to the host Swedes in the gold medal game.
Too bad.
Kevin Fiala digging forward along the boards. Fiala, the 18-year-old first-round pick of the Nashville Predators, who accomplished quite a feat last year, played in the under-18s, the World Championship, and the World Junior all in the same year. Only the third player in the history of the IIHF to accomplish that, and the first from Switzerland. Mark Streit pounds that down to the Latvian zone, and Fiala, number 21, is on it for the Swiss. He played one game in the playoffs for Nashville after playing one game in the regular season. Had a pretty good year for Milwaukee of the American Hockey League. As you get a look at
pretty good start for Switzerland. They're looking to build on their two wins over France and Germany. They've been criticized heavily at home for their play. Although they won the 2 games, it's always the way it is in Switzerland. But a good start by the boys. Roman Yossi, the leader on this team. We'll be looking at him to have a big game today.
Quite tough opener for the Swiss. They led Austria the entire game, basically, until the Austrians tied up late and then won the game in a shootout. So the Swiss did not trail in that game until the shootout won by Austria. But they got 1 point in that game, left valuable points on the board, as Austria is a team most would expect to beat here. Kasper Dogovic tries to swing that rink wide. The Latvians, for their part, in their loss against the Czech Republic, led that game twice, up 1-0 and 2-1. They got into penalty problems, and the Czech power play took them apart. Now the lead pass, Damian Brunner in. He's poke check by Ekers Masalskis. Damian Brunner on the breakaway, and Masalskis with a daring save. Now back on the Latvians, back the other way. Roberts Bukarts with it. Plays it back in behind the Swiss goal. So an early break there for the Swiss, and now Martin Sapoulis plays it back. Now Sapoulis falls at the side of the goal as that pass knocked him over. Maxim Sirikov tries to center it. That's knocked down, and the Swiss are able to clear it out. Robin Grossman plays for Zug in the Swiss League. The vast majority of the Swiss players do play in their home domestic league. A couple of National Hockey League players sprinkled in, and the Swiss would be hoping that Chicago completes the sweep against the Minnesota Wild, so Nino Niederreiter might become an option for them. The Swiss still do have one spot open on their roster. Stepping in is Dino Wieser. Plays it back to the point for Yossi. Roman Yossi being harassed there, throws it back in front. The pass is picked up. Bukarts looks ahead. Janis Redlis drops it back. And a chance fired high and wide by Kasper Soliedis. Boris Traxler flips that down to the Latvian zone. It's picked up by Janis Redlis. He and his brother Michelis, longtime national team players for the Latvians. A long drive by Mark Streit that was offside as he pounded that down into the Latvian zone.
Here's the breakout pass for Brunner. Great pass by Grossman. And normally Damian Brunner buries these, but a great save by the Latvian goalie. Would have been a great start for Switzerland early in the game. Switzerland will be looking for Damian Brunner and Kevin Fiala to add a bit more scoring punch. They need some more goals.
Brunner played the first part of the year for New Jersey in the National Hockey League, scored twice in 17 games, was then allowed to go back home and played for Lugano in the Swiss League, scoring 11 times in 20 games. Sharp angle shot knocked wide as Armand Berzic comes in now for Latvia. That's knocked away and back down to the Latvian zone is hustling back as Kristaps Sukniks for it. Playing a 7th consecutive World Championship for the Latvians. Latvia's 19th consecutive year in the A pool. They knew this would be a tough draw for them this year. They're 0-3, no points. But the 3 toughest teams in their group were the first 3 on their docket. Now a bouncing puck for Mix Indrasis. He has it knocked away. And now Kevin Romy brings it down for Switzerland. Back at the point it goes. That long shot taken by Timo Helbing, and a penalty coming up now to Latvia. And as Andres Zaric touches up behind the goal, the first power play of the game is going to go to Switzerland, and maybe some more as there's some pushing and shoving in behind the Latvian goal. A high sticking call goes against Latvia, and so 4 minutes and 14 seconds into this period, Switzerland will go on the power play.
And the power play will be something Switzerland will be looking to improve from their first 3 games. you'll notice today they'll play Roman Josi not with Mark Streit. They've been playing together on the power play. And now Eric Bloom will play with Roman Josi. I think Roman Josi and a Mark Streit can run their own power play. I think it's a good move by Glenn Hanlon here.
Zarich goes off for the high stick. The Swiss are 1 for 14 on the power play so far. Dennis Hollenstein has their only power play goal. And right away, Latvia fires it back down the ice. So Josi on the back end. Eric Bloom back there with him, as you mentioned. And on the centering pass goes to Cody Allman. He throws it back in front. That's picked off. And Christianas Redlis brings it back shorthanded for Latvia. His backhand pass goes right in front, kicked away there by Berra. And a good chance for the Latvians shorthanded. Now Brunner brings it back for the Swiss to Josi at the point. Roman Josi waits, plays it across for Brunner, in, shoots, and a half slapper taken there, knocked away by Masalskis. Brunner walks into the top of the circles, centers it, fired just wide of the goal. Is jumping in there was Dino Wieser. Pardon me, Eric Bloom with the shot. Now Bloom swings it rink wide. Brunner, Josi with a drive that was blocked, and a sprawling play there by Latvia's Gunnar Skorčkovs.
Dangerous shots there by the Swiss quarterback Roman Josi and Damian Brunner. Very good up top on the power play there.
Now Mark Streit fires it down. The longtime captain of this Swiss national team was their captain in 2006 when Switzerland upset Canada 2-0 in the round robin. And they come cross ice pass, and the shot right on by Amio, saved by Masalskis, and on the rebound, Masalskis down, makes 2 more stops in tight.
Fantastic stops, hold them in the game. Should be 1-0 for Switzerland. They had chances with both power play units here. Kevin Fiala with the pass, Ambu with a shot, rebound for Josi. Great save in front. Good power play by Switzerland. Latvia would be happy to get out of this power play without being behind.
And a look at the short-handed chance. And there's a look back at Sirikovs with the high stick, but they called it on Zarich. Now another Latvian face-off with the puck fired down. 25 seconds to go in this Swiss power play. Streit snaps that pass ahead. Abdul peels back. Plays it back there to Robin Grossman at the point. Swinging back is Fiala to Streit. Back to Fiala. Top of the circle. Trying to play that across. No one there. And a chance now for a 2-on-1 for Latvia. But diving back to get it was Mark Streit to knock it away from Loris Darzic. And the teams are back to even strength as Masalskis hangs onto it. So the Latvians, whether an early Swiss power play, no score here in the first period. Thanks to the early power play, Switzerland is out shooting Latvia 6-1 here in the first period. There is still no score. Swiss beat Latvia last year in the tournament 3-2. The Latvians won a shootout against the Swiss back in 2009. And off the draw, both back at the point. Patrick Gehring with a pass, and the shot goes wide. Now the other side, Timo Helbling with a shot. That's blocked as well. Reaching for it and holding the line is Matthias Bieber. Looks that back in the corner. Simon Bodenman throws it back there and trying to get to those buckets. Matthias Bieber, he can't get there. And it's moved up by Armand Berzic. Now racing back is Gehring. And we've got a penalty count to Switzerland as the Latvian forechecker was dumped. It's an interference call, so the Latvians will get their first power play as Kasper Sulliet is taken down. And Timo Helbling will go off.
This may be the moment that Latvia can get in the game here. They've had a very tentative start here with a power play to Switzerland, 6-1 down in shots. So we'll see if their power play can get something going for them.
Latvian power play is 2 for 10 so far in the tournament. We mentioned, though, that Latvia played very well in the early stages against Canada, led the Czechs twice, and were good against the Swedes early until they ran into get penalty problems. And 2 windows of scoring for the Swedes were the difference in that game.
Well, that's the difference in the big clubs. You know, the top teams, any power play or special situation, they take advantage of it compared to the teams that are lower in their group, and that's the difference in this tournament so often.
Face-off wasn't done fairly, and Julian Walker will step back in for the face-off against Andris Zarich of Latvia. Zarich with it cleanly back to Sirikov. Looks around for Darzic. That pass misses. Now loose in the corner. And racing to it is Traxler. At the line, Sirikovs. His pass deflects off his stick. Back down to Zaric. Free in the corner, Zaric to Dogovic. Kaspars Dogovic, former Ottawa Senator, a Binghamton Senator. Slides it across. Sirikovs, a shot. Pad saved by Berra. Loose puck in front. Racing to it is Traxler. He feeds it down to the Latvian zone.
Big save by Reto Berra. His first of the game. He's hasn't been tested for the first 8 minutes here, but big save there.
His only start was that loss against Austria. Allowed 3 on 24 shots in regulation time and OT. Dogovic with it now. Kaspars Dogovic drops it down. Kristianis Redlis drops it back. The pass picked off by Grossman, but he can't clear it out. Once again, the line held for Latvia. Darzic feeds it back. Now Redlis walks in. Kristianis Redlis with his shot, and the glove save made by Reto Berra has been tested twice on this Latvian power play.
We mentioned Reto Berra before. I'm sure he wants a good game today after being disappointing against Austria. Just stood right up with the glove save there. Great movement here by the Latvians on the power play. There's the first save from the point, and here's the save again from the point. Another save later in the power play kept it 0-0.
So 1 minute to go in this Latvian power play. The shots evening up somewhat. Now 6-3 in favor of Switzerland. And Berra leaves it back for Gehring, who fires it down to the Latvian zone. Latvia has not finished in the top 5, or top 10 rather, in the last 5 years in the World Championship. Now back at the point. Here's Kristianis Redlis with it. Feeds it back to his brother Michelis. Kristianis shoots a long drive. Berra made the stop. There was traffic in front, and Miksin Drasis might have got a stick on that to make it tougher on Berra.
You mentioned Latvia, Gord, before. They're a real solid team. 11 of them play together in the KHL with Dynamo Riga, and they play together as a national team for years and years. And they're a big team. They're heavy, and they're hard to play against.
That was tipped by Miksin Drasis in front, and Drasis added late to this Latvian lineup, was injured in a pre-tournament game. Now a chance in front. He can't get a shot away. And it's poked back to Oscar Savolskas. But headfirst in the boards and hurt his shoulder. Returned after 2 games for the Latvians, and now more of a factor than he was in the first game against Sweden. Janis Brooks tries to drop it back. It's picked off. And now it's center ice taken down. There's Kevin Romy for the Swiss. Romy looking for it. Takes that lead pass from Ambuel. The teams are back to 5-on-5. Romy comes winding in. But Masalskis eats that up and takes it away from 30-year-old Kevin Romy, playing in his 7th World Championship for the Swiss. 2 very good power plays by both teams. Both teams created chances, but nothing to show for it yet. This is the type of game that's probably going to be tight checking and hard fought. Referees are Maxim Sedorenko from Belarus and Vladimir Sidler from the Czech Republic. Julian Walker in for the face-off now for the Swiss, and he wins that cleanly back to the point to Robin Grossman. Hollenstein centers it, goes off a skate, and once again Edgars Masalskis has to hang on to it. Masalskis gave him 8 goals on 35 shots against the Swedes, but he was terrific against the Czechs, allowing just 4 goals on 35 shots in that game. And he came in against Canada with his team down 6-0. Allowed 1 goal on 23 shots. The only goal he allowed, a penalty shot to Sidney Crosby.
He's an outstanding goalie. He beat us at the Olympic Games last year. He was fantastic.
And finished his year with Ambria Piotta of the Swiss League. And now Masalskis gloves that long point shot, and he'll hang on to that. As
we mentioned, one of the keys for Switzerland is getting some more scoring, and the key for that always with the Swiss teams is getting people and pucks to the net, and that's been a weakness for Switzerland for years, scoring goals, and that's the reason why. They got to get people and pucks to the net. You see that that's their plan this afternoon. They really want to get an early lead and get her going here.
Now Romy in for the face-off. Wins it across to Hollenstein, who scored Switzerland's only goal in that win over Germany. It came in the 3rd period with less than 8 minutes to go. They were in a white-knuckle game against the German team that has 1 win already.
That was a typical German-Switzerland game. They all seem to be 1-0 over the years. It's incredible how that always happens.
Now here comes Latvia back the other way. Sabolskis with a shot. That got blocked. Helmet comes dislodged. That's Sapoulis, who has to leave the ice immediately under IIHF rules. Back the other way come the Latvians. That long shot taken there by young Rodrigos Amos, a 19-year-old playing for the Latvians in his first World Championship. Kristianis Redlis in his 10th World Championship. He's one ahead of his brother. Now winding it. And that shot taken by Armand Berzic. That's deflected wide. Centering pass goes to Matthias Bieber. He's turned to the puck by Oskar Sabolskis. And Sabolskis drops it back. You're not going to out-chant the Latvians. The Swiss can try, but
they'll try. They'll try for sure.
But drums beat cowbells almost every time. Roman Josi with a head of steam. And a wrist shot was blocked. As Sirikov stepped in front of that. Now Walker plays it down to Fiala. At the line, held for a moment by Patrick Gehring. Now knocked away from him. Reno Surrey winds his way in. In comes Surrey with a chance. Centers it back in front. And the Latvian net is dislodged. Is jumping ahead, trying to hop on that loose puck was Julian Walker. And play is called.
You mentioned the fans, Gord. Like, I mean, I always tell my friends back home in Canada how great of an event this is, the World Championships. It's not only great hockey, normally it's held in great cities, and I always tell them to get over here on a trip and enjoy it, because it's not that well known in Canada, really, how great a hockey tournament and how great a sporting event it is. And like I said, the city of Prague, hockey crazy like it is, it's a great place to hang out for a couple weeks and enjoy hockey.
So Dogovic gets called for the interference penalty on that play as he knocked his man into the net, Walker. And so now Switzerland gets its second power play of the game. And again, you've got Streit back at the point along with Grossman. Grossman feeds it across, a loose puck. They dig for it. Ambul couldn't get there. And back at the point is Streit along with Grossman. Streit shovels it down to Ambul. Andres Ambul, veteran Swiss player. Sends it back to Grossman. Grossman to Streit, winds and shoots. It gets through the traffic, and Masalska's able to make the save.
He saw it all the way. Reto Suri's got to get in front of the goalie there. He saw the puck all the way. And good movement up top by the Swiss. Kevin Fiala, Mark Streit, and Robin Grossman up top. And goalie strong.
So why is it so hard for the Swiss to get their players to the front of the net?
That's been an age-old question for the Swiss in the Swiss league. Not always done. They're not always going to the net, and they got a great technique, great hockey in Switzerland, but they don't go to the net as they do in North America, and that's why the national team has had trouble scoring goals for years.
Ambulance for the face-off, but he lost it to Berzic. With possession, Kristianis Redlis wires it around, but not out. The centering pass knocked away for a moment from Fiala. Fiala back to Grossman. Now Streit pitching in, moves right to the front of the goal. Fiala back to Grossman. To Fiala. Looking for a backdoor pass to Ambul. That was knocked away. Now back at the point. Fiala crisscrossing with Streit. To Fiala, to Grossman. Now Streit all the way down. Ambul moving to the front of the goal. Streit plays it down the goal line. The centering pass for Ambul is knocked away by Masalskis with a quick stick. As Switzerland's Reno Surrey was looking to center that puck, and Masalskis took it away. Hollenstein fires it in. Shots now 11-5 in favor of the Swiss. They've got 30 seconds to go on their second power play. Josi, 15 goals for the Nashville Predators this year. 28 goals in the last 2 years from the blue line. Brunner slides it down. Fed back to Brunner. Damian Brunner drops it down the goal line. The centering pass for Brunner knocked away. Masalska's down. The puck is still loose. Hollenstein couldn't pick it out. And now it's moved up by Zeric. And final seconds of this Swiss power play. And now Dogovic is back out. Racing back is Patrick Gehringcourt, plays for Zurich in the Swiss League, where his coach is Mark Crawford, beaten by Davos in the league final. Davos also knocked off SC Bern and coach Guy Boucher in the semifinals in the Swiss League. Very few victory parades with more picturesque than the one Davos had.
That's for sure.
Breaking out Latvia 3-on-2. A chance now as they wind in. And Guttas Galvic had that knocked away. Galvic's back on it. Gehring tries to play it around and finds Timo Helbig. Fired back down the Latvian zone. Icing waved off. Both teams can change now. 6:15 to go in a still scoreless first period. Coming in, Darzin shoots, and Berra knocks that away. Line pass from Grossman. And Grossman finds Bodenman, but the play is offside. At the Latvian line, no score with 5:51 to go in period number 1. Good morning, Canada, wherever you're looking in. Gord Miller here with former Swiss national team coach Sean Simpson, a Canadian who has made his name here in Europe, watching your former team take on Latvia and a Swiss program that, Sean, we've seen the last few years really make great strides.
Yeah, I think in the last while, like Rolf Kruger really made did a great job with the program. I was lucky enough to be able to take over for the last 5 Worlds, and with the result 2 years ago, the silver medal in Stockholm was a work of the whole Swiss ice hockey, from their youth system through to they got a good league. They got players in the NHL now, and it's growing all the time. And doing well at the World Junior Championship as well. We've seen a lot of good development for young Swiss players. And a country of 8 million people cranking out a lot of players. Latvia not doing half badly itself as Strike plays it down. Of course, as you mentioned, Latvia has the advantage of having its team in Riga playing in the KHL and using the Russian Junior League. Spinning off there is Kevin Romy trying to play it away. Romy, a 3-time World Junior player for Switzerland. On it now by Bukart. The Swiss were able to limit imports to some degree in their league, although players with EU passports are allowed. So 8 of the top 10 scorers in the Swiss league this year were foreign players. That's always the way. The imports normally in the top 10 are scoring, and it's Damian Brunner was the first Swiss player to win the scoring for 30 or 40 years, 2 or 3 years ago in Zug.
Cody Allman digging for it. Allman, a Calgary native, he has Swiss lineage and is able to get a Swiss passport and play as a non-import in that league and play for the national team. Berra plays it high off the glass. And racing backward is Fiala. Kevin Fiala lost the puck in behind the goal. Now Berzic with it loose. Andres Zeric spins and shoots. It goes off the skate line as Fiala got in the way. And now Darzic on it. He lost it. And Fiala pulls up and plays that ahead for Vito Suri. His long shot stopped by Masalskis. Under 4 to go here in the first period. Still no score. And now chipped down to the Swiss zone. Berra has to come up and play it. It's bearing in on him. There's Alexander Yerofeyev. Traxler. Up ahead for Bloom. There's Vieser with it. Balls in the corner. There's Janis Redlis battling for it. Comes up the puck and finds Loris Darzic. Darzic scored Latvia's only goal in that 8-1 loss to Sweden. Winds in, waits, has some time, shoots, and Berra reaches back with a blocker to take that away. So the Latvians piling up the chances here in the second half of this period.
Yeah, that first power play seemed to get them in the game. They started a little tentative, like we said, but ever since then they're starting to move their feet a little bit more and create some chances on Berra. But Berra's been solid so far.
Shots are 12-7 in favor of Switzerland. She's had 2 of the 3 power plays in the period. Sobolskis up ahead for Janis Brooks. Brooks sends it back in front. The backhand shot goes right through the crease. Michaelis Redlis couldn't reach that. Zaric plays it back. And Gathering back up is Oskar Sabolskas. Fired back into the Swiss zone. Feeling back in the corner is Andrasas. He got tied up. Now the centering pass for Sprooks. Surikov shoots through the traffic. Reto Berra able to make the stop and hang on with 2:21 to go here in the period.
Entertaining game so far. Back and forth. Both goalies are really solid. And be interesting to see what kind of effect the first goal might have on such a game.
Starzic with that chance in the high slot. Starzic led Latvia with 4 goals in 5 games in Sochi and scored the only Latvian goal in that 2-1 quarterfinal loss to Canada. Face off one back, and the shot taken by Bukarts is blocked, and it's back down to the Latvian end. Now Brunner with the steal. In with Hollenstein, but the extra move of the line puts them offside, and play is called.
Gord, you mentioned the effort from the Latvians in the Olympic Games. Here's a save by Latvians. Great save on Brunner. Another one on Ambul. He's held them in the game so far. Reto Berra's come up with some great stops at the other end. You mentioned the Latvian. They were so solid at the Sochi Olympics. You know, they came so close to upsetting Canada. And great factor in that was their coaching with Teddy Nolan on the bench, and also Sandras Ozolinch as their leader captain. He was a warrior during the Olympic Games.
Christianos wasn't bad in goal either. Kozlowskis was tremendous in that game. One of the great goaltending performances we've seen in the Olympic Games since NHL players started going. The shots were widely in Canada's favor, but Gudlevskis held them in. Gudlevskis, by the way, is with the Tampa Bay Lightning right now. He's their 3rd goaltender. Their American League team got knocked out, but he's been called up, so he's not available. Kozlowskis came on in relief in the first game against Canada and has gone the rest of the way for Latvia since.
I think both countries, Latvia and Switzerland, have depth in their goaltending. Both countries have 3 or 4 or 5 goalies who can play at the world level.
Of course, part of the interesting part of the Swiss story, rather, is the influence of the Allaire brothers. Francois and Benoit have had a goaltending camp in Switzerland for a long time.
There's been a great wave of Swiss goalies over the last 10-15 years. David Abischer, Martin Gerber, Reto Berra, Jonas Hiller, on and on. There's been some great goaltenders coming out of Switzerland.
Now play is called as falling on the puck was Dargovich. And now the Swiss getting warned about doing the face-off properly. They're very strict about that in the IIHF. Ron Francis and Guy Carbonneau would not have liked IIHF rules. But they're consistent about it.
No, they're good. They run great tournaments, the IIHF. They don't get enough credit for that sometimes, but they really do.
Now off the draw, away comes Fiala. It's 3-on-2 for Switzerland. Fiala feeds it across. The return pass for Fiala knocked away. And behind the goal it goes, racing toward the point. And the hold it is Grossman. Cody Allman out there, and behind the goal now is Rito Suri. Suri plays it across to Fiala. Fiala trying to fight Allman with it. And Yerofeyev's gotten away now back at the point. Puck is held by Hellblin. Grossman down to Allman. That bounced away from him. Suri reaching for it. And Fiala's in the high slot waiting for a pass. Here he comes. Fiala, fans on the shot. 1 to go in the opening period. So the Latvians have weathered a couple of early Swiss power plays. And back to pick it up is Hellblin. 6th-round pick of Nashville back in '99. Played 9 games with Tampa and 2 with Washington in a brief stint in the National Hockey League. And that long shoot in his glove by Edgars Masalskis, who could probably sing the words to the old Hank Snow song, I've Been Everywhere, because Masalskis had been all over Europe.
And we talked to him briefly about coming to Cloten, where I coach now, and they ended up in Ambry in our league and played pretty well. It wasn't an easy situation there, but he's a solid professional, plays well. We talked about the Swiss offense. I think Latvia has to watch out for the Swiss defense joining the rush and joining the cycle in the play. I think that could be dangerous as this game goes on.
After Gearing's shot is blocked, he gets it back, but the puck leaves the zone as Michaelis Redlis got into him. And now it's fired right back down by Morris Traxler. Picked out for the moment by Kristaps Sutniks. And now that Clearing pass, dribbles down to the Swiss zone. 10 seconds to go in the period. And Streit swings back. Mark Streit in his 13th World Championship for the Swiss. He'll watch the time wind down, and this game is scoreless after the opening 20 minutes. As the Latvians weather some power plays, the Swiss outshoot them 12-8. Our first intermission coming up from the 2015 Worlds.
Little C.
Back in Prague, you heard the guys in the studio talk about it. Reto Berra and the Swiss haven't allowed a goal in more than 90 minutes. The problem is they've only scored once in that time. Edgars Masalskis did not allow a goal on 12 shots again. So here we are into the second period. No score.
I go back to the importance of the game. You know, the Swiss, they know they have Sweden, Canada, Czech in the next 3 games. They know they need this game. And the Latvians, they have Germany, Austria, and France in that order. So if they can get a win here against the Swiss, it gets them up and running, and they have every chance to win the next 3 games and even overtake Switzerland, who are now 7 points ahead of them. So the standings right now can be a bit misleading if the Latvia can get going here.
You have to think for Latvia, even a point in this game would be a good result. And don't forget, under the IIHF point system, overtime and shootout wins are worth 2 points. Regulation wins are worth 3, and that can be a major factor as you get down to the standings. So, for example, the Swedes won their opener in a shootout against the Czechs, only gained 2 points.
Remember, we talk, I say that European teams, Switzerland or Latvia, I know the Canadians, they come here only looking for gold, and it should be that way. But when you're Switzerland or Latvia, you're looking first not to go in the relegation round and then making the quarterfinals and trying to go further from them. That's your first goal here. So that's what we're talking about. If Latvia can get the win here today or any type of point here today, give them a big lift and keep them in the tournament.
Damian Brunner chips that in. Back to pick it up is Guntis Galvic for the Latvians. And Fiala digging forward to the side of the goal, but it's taken away by Darzic. Relegation is such a big factor, not just in international tournaments, but of course in European domestic leagues. And we saw that in the Swiss league. Rapperswil was relegated this year. It was a quick shot taken, and Berra got a piece of that on the drive by Anders Zaric.
I think that caught Berra up high there.
It did, and so play called. Now we've seen a change in this rule, Sean, over the years. It used to be automatic when the puck struck the goaltender's mask that play was called. Now, only if it has an impact on the goaltender is play called.
I think that's a good rule. I mean, it seemed to me Reito was a little bit shaken up there. He wasn't going to be able to. He didn't really play the rebound in that situation. So I think it's a good rule to call it there.
So Rapperswil being demoted in the Swiss league, how big a blow is that to their program?
Oh, it's a tremendous blow. To go down to the B League is not what you want to do. Your budget is sliced in half. You don't have the sponsors. You don't have the fans. Your players leave. It's a disaster.
And of course, being relegated in this tournament, much the same thing. Not the economic problems, but the bottom 2 teams rather in each group are automatically relegated. There's no playoff system. You just go down. Now the Russians this year can't go down. They won't anyway because they get enough points. But next year's host team can't be relegated at the World Championship level. That's not true at the other levels.
No, the relegation is a scary situation. It's when you get in that round, it's whether it's in the league or at the World Championships or any tournament, it's a negative thing. You're playing play-outs instead of play-offs, and that's it's only negative. A very bad experience all around.
Off the face-off, Hollenstein with a shot, and that's deflected wide of the goal. Now Helbling plays it back in the corner. Hollenstein down to Brunner. Kevin Romy up there as well for the Swiss, trying to break through offensively. 3 goals against Austria, 3 against France, and just 1 against Germany. And they'll need more than that when they take on the big teams on this side, Sweden, Canada, and the Czechs in their next 3. Helbling up ahead for Hollenstein. The one thing we've seen, Johnny, you talked about it in the first period, is on big ice, European teams are much more aggressive getting defensemen now into the play. As Brunner comes in, waits and shoots, and Masalskis able to make the stop.
Yeah, I think that's part of Switzerland's plan. If you watch every shift, Yossi or Grossman or even Mark Streit joining the play, joining the rush first of all, And a lot of times the Latvian back checkers haven't picked those guys up. They've been open for a split second, so you definitely have to watch that. And when Switzerland get the cycle established, they're Yossi and the offensive D join down low and make it difficult for the defensive zone coverage for Latvia.
Yossi out there now, along with Bloom. Yossi was the MVP of the 2013 World Championship when the Swiss team, coached by you, got to the silver medal. Now a chance for the Latvians, but Rossi swings back to pick that up. How good was he there?
Oh, he was tremendous, and even without Roman Yossi here, everybody talks about Mark Streit as the captain and leader of the team, but Roman Yossi is the next generation leader of this hockey team. Look at the minutes and the points and the performance he puts up in Nashville, and he always wants to play for the national team. He's just a tremendous individual.
Hand pass called against the Swiss, so the faceoff will come outside. You talked a little bit about the criticism the Swiss have been receiving at home and how that's an annual thing. How difficult is that for the Swiss players? We're right next door, basically, here in the Czech Republic.
Well, ice hockey or hockey is big in Switzerland. It's covered tremendously by the media. I think we Switzerland have the most media people at the World Championship, so it's quite well covered. Don't forget, you got the 3 languages: German, French, and Italian. So they all have to bring their own people. So it's really studied and analyzed through and through, and the coaches normally take the brunt of the criticism.
He says with a knowing nod. Long lead feed chipped in there by Indrasis. Indrasis is probably playing with half an arm with that shoulder injury, but the Latvians want him back in the lineup now. Kristianis Redlis sweeps it back in front, but it's picked off and moved ahead by Ambul. Anders Ambul tied up by Indrasis, and Indrasis wins that battle for the puck. He's been much more of a factor in this game than he was against the Swedes.
Seeing a bit more tactic in the game now with forecheck decisions. I like to see that from the Swiss. Their opening games, they just went all out. They didn't really have any forecheck decisions. Now you see quite a bit of low 1-2-2 against the Latvians, make it difficult for them to come out.
Now, fairly or not, the Swiss have a reputation for being very defensive over the years. Was that an unfair criticism?
No, I think that's the way they had to play, say, 10, 15 years ago. I think the Swiss team now is able to do more for the game and play a bit more offense and do a bit more forechecking. I think we did that in Stockholm.
Now Surrey with a chance. Trying to feed that back in front for Brunner. That's knocked away from him. And moved ahead by Darzin. 2-on-1 now for Latvia. Zaric in all alone, shoots, scores! Andres Zaric opens the scoring as Latvia takes a 1-0 lead. That was a 2-on-1 that turned into a breakaway shot.
This made put a big impulse in this game. Robin Grossman for Switzerland gets caught pinch. 2-on-1 for the Latvians, and a great job, great shot in the top corner. Derens, and this is a big goal. This will liven this game up tremendously.
So Zaric gets his first of the World Championship. He's playing in his 6th consecutive World Championship for the Latvians. Played junior hockey in Kingston and was a big-time scorer there. Scored 41 goals over 2 years in the Ontario Hockey League.
Another big body that the Latvians have, many of them, especially up front. And with the lead now, they're going to sit back and play their 1-2-2 in the neutral zone. They're going to be strong in front of their own net. They're going to make it more difficult now with the lead for Switzerland.
So the Swiss allow their first goal in more than 90 minutes of play. Now the question is, can they score more than one in the remaining 45 minutes of this game? And now the Latvian fans are in full voice. Romy back to pick it up. Drops it back for Bloom.
Here's your neutral zone.
The Swiss love Felicien Dubois, high-scoring defenseman who's out with a broken hand. Now walking in and shooting a chance there for Yossi, and the save made by Masalskis, and a pileup now in the Latvian goal. 8 players standing at 12 square feet.
As mentioned, when it gets almost halfway through the game, 0-0, and the first goal happens, it does a lot for a hockey game, and this is no exception. And you saw in that last play, Roman Josi again joining the offense. He's always involved there, making a 4-man attack, whether it's on the rush or in the zone.
So we saw Grossman get caught in the pinch, leading to the 2-on-1. Will we see more of it now?
Well, I don't think Glenn Hanel would be too happy with Robin Grossman pinching down like that. It was a bad decision he made, and it cost the opening goal here.
Alexander Belavskis takes over as the coach of the Latvian national team from Ted Nolan. Of course, Latvian first and last names generally end in S, so the Latvian players call them Ted's Nolans.
He did a tremendous job there.
He really enjoyed coaching the Latvian national team, and in fact delayed his arrival in Buffalo to finish out his coaching contract with the Latvians at the Olympics. Julian Walker plays it back. That point shot goes high and wide. Taking that was Patrick Garrett. Latvia, as we mentioned, led 1-0 and 2-1 against the Czech Republic before running into penalty problems and falling 4-2 in that game. Now loose puck at center ice, and jumping in for it, Julian Walker, knocked away from him.
We always talk about, when we coach, we talk about shifts after goals, and the next 3 or 4 shifts after every goal, especially one that came halfway through the game, the first goal, very, very important. Very important now the Latvians establish themselves with 3 or 4 good shifts.
And comes Redless with a shot. That's picked off. Ambuel looks ahead, and Ambuel finds Matthias Bieber. Bieber got tied up. Now Ambuel, the speedster, picks it up, plays it back for Grossman, who's jumped up again for the Swiss. Janis Redless to Andrasis, up for Michaelis Redless, and Redless winds his way in. Loose puck picked up by Grossman, and looks ahead for Bieber, but the pass too far for him. Oscar Sabalskis comes back for him. Sabalskis played in Vancouver in the 2006 World Junior Championship, but he already played in a World Championship for Latvia the year before. Now a chance of the shot taken by Surrey. That's stopped in tight by Masalskis. Evan Fiala loose behind the Latvian goal. Feeds it back in front. Oh, what a stop by Masalskis in tight. As Edgars Masalskis makes the stop there on Cody Allman. And Masalskis putting on a show now for the Latvians. 16th save for Masalskis. Fiala back with it. And now a penalty coming to Latvia. It'll be a trip against Loris Darzic, and down a goal. Switzerland will have the power play when we come back. So moments after, Edgars Masalskis makes a toenail save on Cody Allman of Switzerland. The Swiss will go on the power play as Loris Darzic goes off for the trip, and a critical power play for the Swiss. We're now 1 for 16 in the tournament. And they'll start with Josi at the point. Slides it across, and the shot taken by Brunner ramps off a stick and up and out of play. How significant is the splitting up of Streit and Josi, the 2 veteran NHL defensemen? Here's a look at the save by Masalskis.
It's an outstanding save.
Like a toenail on it.
And the Swiss had the great reaction after the goal was scored by Latvia. I talked about Latvia needing to have 4 or 5 good shifts after the goal, but it was Switzerland who had the 4 or 5 good shifts, drawing the power play now and having the chance to tie the game.
Allman of the face-off now against Armins Berzic. And the Latvians have been strong on face-offs throughout this tournament. The puck fired by Eric Bloom and back down the ice. This power play becomes critical now for the Swiss.
The 2 power plays, I think, are set up around this unit's on the ice now between Josi and Brunner. That's the key guys here. And the other one is Fiala and Streit on the other unit. So they got them well balanced here. It's just they need to break through. They need to score a goal where the guy in front or off a screen or off a tip, maybe get them going. Their setup is fine. They just haven't been able to capitalize.
Here comes Josi streaking in now. Roman Josi plays it back at the point for Bloom. Bloom drops it down, takes the return pass from Ambuel. And now Bloom back with it. Brunner is standing in front. Hollenstein with time. Feeds that rink wide, but Martin Sapolis gets a stick on it. Now Sapolis works his way ahead. The Latvians had a good shorthanded chance earlier in this game. And now Sapolis gets turned away in the corner. Hollenstein drops it off for Brunner. 40 seconds to go in Switzerland's third power play. Brunner comes jumping in. 4 Latvians closed on him. Switzerland changing as Brunner fires it around. Suri off the bench now for Switzerland. Crisscrossing with Allman. Allman works in and shoots. That's blocked. Bouncing puck goes in front. Kristaps Sutnik's with it. Now Sutnik's away. 3-on-2 for Latvia, short-handed. And the lead pass goes to Skorčkov with it. His return pass missed Sutnik's. Final seconds now of this Swiss power play. Here comes Streit with it. Mark Streit fires it around. Masalskis knocks it down. He loves to play the puck, rattles it off the glass and back down the ice. Darzic steps out and takes the puck. Drops it back to Skorčkov. He centers it. In comes Dargovic with it. Kasper Dargovic plays it around. And Skorčkovs can't reach it. Now Skorčkov's back with it. So Darzic, fresh out of the penalty box, almost had a chance there for Latvia. 10.5 to go in the second period. The centering pass for Darzic just missed him. Sabolskis. Now the centering pass goes to Dargovic. Kasper Dargovic picks it up, nifty move. He drops it back at the point. Sirikov's shot. That was blocked, but that stung Rito Suri, and Suri makes his way to the Swiss bench. Maxim Sirikov drops the puck back to Oskar Sabolskis. I mentioned that Sabolskis played the World Championship before the World Junior. Only 11 players in the history of the IIHF have done that. Canada's Patrice Bergeron is the only one to win gold at the World Championship before winning gold at the World Junior. Now the puck goes to the corner. Skorčkov's on it. Got knocked down at the line. Held by Gearing. A long shot that was blocked. A penalty coming now to Latvia. And Kristianis Redlis is going to go off with 9.5 to go here in the second period. So again, Latvia is running into penalty problems after taking the lead.
Switzerland just picked up their pace. That's the deal, Gord. They just picked up since the goal was scored against them. They've been lively. They've been on the forecheck a little more and drawn 2 penalties here. That was an unnecessary penalty from Redlis there. And let's hope for the Swiss fans or the Swiss ice hockey that they can get their power play going here. It looks really good, but they got to get more shots and more people in front of the goal.
No shots on goal for Switzerland on that last power play. And you see Masalskis there shaking his blocker hand of that collision with Julian Walker of Switzerland. After losing his stick. And Latvian fans not pleased with the non-call. See, they speak with their hands. We can understand everything they say. Here's Streit with it. Back at the point along with Grossman. Streit has a look. Now Fiala circling in front. Back he goes to Streit. Streit shoots. That's tipped in front by Fiala. Knocked away by Masalskis. Now the Latvians pull it ahead. Lifted high in the air by Zeric. Berra leaves it there. In comes Ambuel with it. Anders Ambuel steps in. Ambuel with a chance, feeds it back. He missed Fiala with that pass. Streit though holds it up for the Swiss. In comes Fiala. Kevin Fiala drops it back to Grossman. 1:20 to go on the power play. Fiala now with some room. Stick handles in and shoots. Masalskis the same. The rebound drops down. Back to the point it goes. Here's Streit. Across to Grossman. To Streit. Streit feeds across, winds and fires, and Masalskis makes the glove save and hangs on.
Another good power play by Switzerland, but Makalis is so strong in goal, and the Latvian penalty killers are also blocking a lot of shots, which is key at this level.
So Masalskis with a pretty strong afternoon in the Latvian goal, and that deflection just caught him at the last moment.
Reminds me of last year in Sochi. He had a fantastic game against us. They got 2 goals early, and we couldn't come back with against his performance.
So now the second power play unit is on. Roman Josi back at the point, along with Eric Bloom, and here's Bloom with it. Back to Josi. Lots of traffic in front. That shot taken and fired wide by Brunner. Hollenstein to Brunner, holds. Josi fires. Masalskis makes the save. The rebound skips to the corner. 40 seconds to go in this Swiss power play. Picked up by Kevin Romy. Back to Yossi. To Suri. To Yossi. Now Brunner chips it down. Romy looking for it. A chance now again for the Swiss. Bringing in Brunner with a drive. Masalska saved the rebound. Squirted free. And Hollenstein couldn't get to it. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Yossi hammered down there by Skortskovs. And now Switzerland holds the line. Yossi plays it across. Latvian fans thought that was offside, and a long shot taken by Brunner is gloved by Masalskis. 7:34 to go here in period number 2. Latvia leads 1-0. Switzerland has 20 shots on goal in this game, 9 of them on the power play. But the Swiss continue to trail Latvia 1-0 here, with 7.5 to go in the second period.
Yeah, three of their 4 power plays, they've been outstanding. They're just running into a hot goaltender here.
So you keep chipping away. Cody Allman wins the drawback. Here's Streit. Feeds it down to the goal line. Traxler reaching for it. Banks the puck back to Gehring. Bodenman now feeds it back to Streit, able to hold the line, but his pass now picked off by Sprooks. Out he goes to Andrasis. Nick Andrasis. So these top-end offensive players for Latvia haven't been able to get on the ice much here midway through the second period with the penalty problems the Latvians have had. Michaelis Redlis battling there with Gehring. And Gehring thought he was taking a penalty, I think, for the hold on Michaelis Redlis, but the referee tells him to play on. And now Redlis picks it back and looks down to Andrasis. Nick Andrasis, the 24-year-old. Had that stripped away, the rink-wide pass out of the reach of Matthias Bieber. Racing up is Gehring for it. Plays it back down to the Latvian zone. 6.5 to go in the second period. Switzerland is 7 points ahead of Latvia in the round-robin standings, but in very different positions. Sapula's a long shot, kicked away by Berra. Now fanning on the one-timer is Avold. Latvia has played the 3 toughest teams in this group. Switzerland has yet to face them, so lots of points still on the table for the Latvians. And should the Swiss not gain points from this game, a tough road ahead. The Swiss have Sweden on Friday, Canada Sunday, and then the Czechs on Tuesday night.
Not impossible for the Swiss. You know, they've had a history of playing very well against the better teams, Sweden, Canada, etc. So not impossible, but I'm sure they want to get these points.
William Walker plays it down to Romy. Kevin Romy with it. Spins away in the corner. Romy drops it off. In comes Brunner with a chance. That was blocked. And away come the Latvians. 3-on-2 again. The pass for Skortskovs missed. And racing back is Bloom for the Swiss. The puck bounces down to the side of the goal. And Romy sent flying. And a shot by Solietas was going wide, but Berra got a pad on it anyway. Out it comes to Yossi. Roman Yossi wearing his customary number 90 for the Swiss national team. And away he comes. What a year he had for Nashville. Yossi hooks it back for Romy. Walks in and shoots. Masalsk with the pad save. And the rebound scooped ahead by Galvich. This is Galvich, another guy who played the 05 World Championship before playing in the 06 World Junior. Brought in now a chance down low for the Swiss on the wraparound try. And Damian Brunner turned away there. Masalskis is slow to get to his feet here after doing the splits to make that save. There may be a problem for Masalskis, who is still now just getting to his feet. Talking to the official, but Masalskis got a health problem. And in comes Brunner again. Brunner slides it across, and a penalty coming now. It's going to be a hooking call. Masalskis is down again as Rito Suri is turned away, and Edgars Masalskis is in some distress in the Latvian crease. And meantime, Latvia takes another penalty as Sabolskis is going to get it. They're calling a hook on it.
Boy, 2 fantastic chances. First they had the wraparound, I think it's from Fiala, and that may have been when Masalskis got hurt there. he went around. The second chance here, you saw the 2-on-0. Allman and Surrey. Maybe Allman should shoot that puck when he gets in that close.
So Oscar Sabolskas goes off. Edgars Masalskis is still talking to the official. The Latvian training staff hasn't come out yet to attend to him, so Masalskis will remain in the game. And so the Swiss are going back on the power play. 0 for 4 tonight. This is the 4th consecutive minor penalty against Latvia going back to the first period, the 3rd consecutive here in this period.
And that's because Switzerland is forcing the play right now. They're taking the play on the forecheck and on the counters to the Latvians and drawing counters.
Allman in for the face-off. Tapped back there by Surrey. And there's Fiala with it. Fiala back at the point for a strike, but a quick stick there of Armand Berzic knocked that away. 4 to go in the second period. Switzerland had to gut out a 1-0 win over Germany, scoring a late goal. And now here come the Latvians back the other way. Berzic in, shoots. That's blocked by Strike.
Sometimes when you get too many power plays in a row, you lose your intensity a little bit. The Swiss got to keep their intensity here. They got every chance to tie the game and go on to win it if they can capitalize on one of these power plays.
Now Fiala winds his way in, drops it back. Grossman across the Strike. Down low to Surrey with it, and Fiala banks it back for Grossman. 70 seconds to go in this power play. In comes Fiala. Drops it back to Strike. Cross to Grossman. To Strike. In comes Fiala with a chance inside of the goal. And Surrey couldn't get away. Sitters, and oh, what a stop by Masalskis. In tight on Grossman. Edgars Masalskis with another highlight reel save for Latvia.
Wow.
And the Latvian fans on their feet after that. Here's Surrey back with it. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Now Grossman standing in front. And back it goes to Fiala. To Strike. To Fiala. Lots of traffic in front. Not much for shots. Cody Allman in. Shoots. He's blocked. Now Fiala reaching for it. It's cleared down the ice by Kasper Doggerman.
The Swiss now putting 2 men right in front of the goal, which they should do. They can't beat the goaltender. It's great power plays. They just can't buy one here.
Now Yossi winds his way in. Roman Yossi is centering pass. That's disrupted. As Andres Zaric gets a stick on that. And now the power play is over. Here's Brunner back on it. Damian Brunner. Plays it back. And here's Andrasis. Getting tied up as Hollenstein falls. And the centering pass is knocked away by Galvin. 1 shot on goal for Switzerland on that power play. So 10 shots on goal in the man advantage so far in the game with no result. Bloom with it. Got tied up by Sprooks. Sprooks, sending it to Kellis Redless now, waiting for help to arrive. Drops it down to Sprooks for Redless. Has some room, plays it back. Sirikov's a shot that the puck's wide. Now picked off by Darzic, but his centering pass intercepted. And Bodeman is back the other way. On Bodeman. And that knocked away, and the puck goes into the Swiss bench with 1:10 to go here in the second period. What chances for the Swiss on the power play. Oh.
Wow. Backdoor to Grossman. He thought he had it. Fantastic.
It looked like Dominic Hasek coming across like that, throwing everything with the kitchen sink at it. And look at that save with the elbow. He's been quite a character in international hockey. Masalskis playing his 11th World Championship. Vladislav Tretiak is the all-time leader for goaltenders with 13 World Championship appearances.
There's Grossman on the bench. Still can't believe that didn't go in.
When you hear drums, that's Latvia. When you hear cowbells, that's Switzerland.
That's right.
You've heard a lot of cowbell in your life.
Yes, I have.
the Swiss league, the highest attended league of any European loop.
And that's led by Bern. SC Bern drawing 16,000, 17,000 a game every night. Tremendous atmosphere out there.
That's Guy Boucher's team, right?
Yes, it is.
Mark Crawford in Zurich. And Sean Simpson in Clark, by the way. Here's Mark straight with a long shot. Masalska saw that last moment, kicked it away. Loose in behind the goal, Andres Ambuel. Andres Ambuel being tied up in the corner. Now his pass is intercepted and moved out by Berzic. Chance now for Abols coming in. Rodrigo Abols taking a backhand shot away, but they're calling a hand pass way back in the Latvian zone. You couldn't hear the whistle with 34.5 seconds to go in the period. And a look back at the only goal of the second period, the wrist shot by Andres Zeric.
It's a big goal, but Latvia's going to have to regroup in the dressing room after this period because Switzerland dominated the rest of the period. Three power plays in a row, and you know, it should, without the goalie, it should be tied. It should be tied, or Switzerland should be ahead. So Latvia's going to have to come out and have their best period in the last period to solidify this win here.
11-4, the shots on goal for Switzerland in the period. Overall, it's 23-12. We've seen this movie before from Latvia, though. And some jawing, Wieser and Dogovic having some words before the face-off. Wieser played for that Swiss championship team in Davos, one of 4 members of that club who's here with the national team. 20 seconds to go now in the period. Walker digs for it. Lost the puck to Sutniks. He plays it back up to center ice, and here comes Latvia again. Late in the period, the centering pass, in across it goes, and the pass taken by Zeric, but it's broken up in the last moments of the period. And Latvia will go to the dressing room with a 1-0 lead that was almost 2, thanks to a late chance here at the end of the second period. What a chance as Darzic came in. And then Zeric tried to feed it back, but a sprawling defensive play made by Timo Helbling. 1-0 Latvia leads after 40 minutes. Our second intermission is coming up. So a critical crossroads game for these two teams, Latvia and Switzerland. The Swiss come in with 7 points, the Latvians none, but the hard road ahead for the Swiss is the Czech Republic, Canada, and Sweden still in their schedule. Latvia has already played those 3 teams, and the story here this afternoon, Edgars Masalskis has been absolutely unbelievable, stopping all 23 shots, including chance after chance on Swiss power plays in the second period.
He's been outstanding. Latvia really needs a great start here. They didn't have a great last 10 minutes of the second period. They really need to establish themselves. They cannot sit on this lead for 20 minutes. They need to go and play.
They have not had a power play since 7 minutes into the first period. It's been all Switzerland since then. The shots in that period were 11-4 in favor of the Swiss. But they start the third 5-on-5. And Latvia, which has been a dragon slayer in many European tournaments, a 1-0 lead to open the period. Andres Ambuel looks ahead for Bodeman. Bodeman in behind his back, drops it off for Ambuel. The pass for Bodeman missed. And now Michaelis Redlis on it for Latvia.
And Switzerland, they need to keep skating here. They need to put some more pressure at the goal, and they need one of their big guys to step up here now.
Bodeman comes jumping in. It's a 3-on-2, and the Swiss forward fires that wide of the goal. As Gearing goes looking for the rebound. Now a loose puck in front. Bieber gets a backhand shot away. That's blocked. And Sutniks on it now for the Latvians. Long lead pass knocked down by Darzic. And Darzic fires it around. Looking for Dogovic. Kaspars Dogovic, who scored in each of Latvia's first 2 games. Down to the Latvian goal scorer, Andres Zeric, who centers it. And now Sutniks taken down, clutching his face in front of the Swiss goal. And the referee does not indicate a penalty is coming. What cut it? The puck. That's the reason. Dogovic for bearing in there. A good scoring chance for the Latvians in the opening moments. Never seen a guy wear a ring before.
Never seen that before. Must be no fighting over here.
I've never seen a player wearing a watch once. Like, is it important to know what time it is when you're playing? You have somewhere to be? Gehring into the corner for Fiala. Kevin Fiala had this stripped away by Dogovic. Kasper Dogovic with it now. On to Darzic. And Darzic, loose behind the Swiss goal, banks it back. Abols comes jumping in now for Latvia. Missed Darzic for that pass. And Skorchkov plays it around. Lead pass goes to Suri. Comes Suri with it now. Centers it. That shot dribbled wide as Kevin Romy got a stick on it. Now Romy got spun around. Here's Brunner with it. Romer. Back to Grossman. To Suri. Suri centers it off the pads of Masalskis, and we saw Masalskis laboring late in the period after making the hard splits on the save, but he appears to be all right now.
It looks to be fine.
Winding in now is Brunner. Damian Brunner can't get a shot away as Yerofeyev stood in front of him. Now the serving pass to Romy with a shot that's blocked by Skorchkov.
They block a lot of shots, the Latvians. It'll be interesting to see if the energy level has any effect.
Oh, look out. Too many men on the ice against Switzerland. A bad change here to start the third period. And Latvia will get a power play now as the Swiss are called for too many.
And you know, as a coach, when you've had so many power plays and you haven't capitalized on them, you're always afraid to get a power play against you. And if they could capitalize here and go 2-0 up, would be a huge goal for Latvia, obviously. I was going to say it'd be interesting to see if the energy level plays any role now in this game. Switzerland played a tough game yesterday against Germany, 1-0 win. All their top players also played a few extra more minutes with all those power plays in the second period. So we'll see. Latvia didn't play yesterday, so we'll see if that has any effect here in the last 20.
Face off, one back across it comes, and a shot hammered by Sabolskis off the shoulder of Vera, and the puck goes out of play. Controlled by Latvia. Sabolskis for Kristianis Redlis. His brother McKellis also out there on this power play. Indrasis back for Redlis for Spruks. Janis Spruks plays it down to Loris Darzic. And Darzic tied up. Still to come tonight. Sweden against Canada here in this building. As Spruks tries to center it, it's picked off, and Roman Josi moves it ahead 3-on-2 shorthanded. For the Swiss, who do have a shorthanded goal. Josi speeds it across, and the pass just missed Morris Traxler. Now Helbling fires it back down to the Latvian zone. 80 seconds to go on this power play.
That's how dynamic Roman Josi can be, jumping out of his own end there with the puck and creating a scoring chance shorthanded.
Darzic looks ahead. Now Walker with it. Along with Rito Shapi, who was barely played in this game, and now Masalskis jumps on that. Helbling came in late. Didn't like that much as Zaric got in there battling as well, and quite often the officials in the IIHF will pull one player out of these scrums.
That's true. Interesting to see Shapi on the ice for Switzerland. He hasn't been out there very much, but he is a good penalty killer. He plays that role in Zurich for Mark Crawford, and big, strong, versatile forward play winger center.
Shapi had just 24 seconds of ice time, one shift in the first period, none of the second. Helbling and Zaric. Dosi-doing in behind the Latvian goal. And they finally let go. So 58 seconds to go in the Latvian power play. Can Masalskis hold the fort the rest of the way?
Timo Helbing style, one of the most physical guys in the Swiss league. Like you mentioned before, he played some NHL games and plays a real physical style also in the Swiss league.
Now Dogovic with the face-off for Latvia against Traxler. And Sirikov drops it back. Galvin. Pass in the middle. Traxler got a stick on that. Ambul trying to knock it in for the Swiss. Now Traxler finds Ambul, but the play's offside at the Latvian line. 44 seconds to go on this Latvian power play. Gone here in the third period. Still a 1-0 game here in Ostrava. 3-1 Russia on Denmark. Hearing that Ilya Kovalchuk has been playing on the fourth line for the Russians today. Now Zarins brings it in. Throws it down to Darzic. Back at the point to Sirikov. Darzic battling for it. And the puck fired by him and back down the ice. Lead pass to Dogovic. And Dogovic got there first. That would have been icing against the Latvians. Final seconds now. And back on the ice is Hollenstein, who served the 2-man man of the ice penalty. Zarins likes not to shoot. Plays it back to Dogovic. Centers it for Sutniks. And Sutniks can get a shot away. Now Hollenstein with it. He got knocked down by Dogovic. Might have embellished that a little bit.
I don't want to say he's my player. I don't want kids.
Gotta be careful with your guys. Okay, fair enough. We respect that. Ebbals loose in the corner now. 5 gone in the third period. Ebbals centers it. And in came Janis Redlis. Couldn't get a shot away. Now Ebbals centers it, and Josi knocks it down for the Swiss. Roman Josi up for Hollenstein. He was tied up by Bukarts. And now Josi picks it out. Roman Josi. Hollenstein, lead pass. That one is Bodeman. Solianis brings it back in. He's buried there by Helbling. Grossman up for Helbling. In comes Switzerland 3 wide. The lead pass to Bieber. He was tied up by Skortskov. Ambul with it now. Anders Ambul. Leaves it back in the corner for Bodeman. Bodeman walks out, spins and shoots. That was blocked. And Solianis got a shot on it. Or a block on it, rather. And in comes Solianis with it now. Round he goes to Skortskov. Both teams are changing. Skortskov's with time, drops it back at the point. A long drive taken by Galvin. He's gloved by Reto Berra. And he drops it down for Ambul. Play continuing now. Just trying to get something going here. You mentioned they got another 1-0 winning over Germany, but now back comes Latvia. Michaelis Redlis loose behind the goal. Redlis leaves it back in the corner for Janis Spruk. That's picked off. Streit sends it on a lead pass for Fiala. In comes Kevin Fiala with Cody Allman. Fiala pulls up and shoots. He missed short side. Now Allman back on it. To Streit. Mark Streit with a long drive. That's wide as well. And Michaelis Redlis looks it high in the air. And Drassis gloves it down. But it's brought back by Suri. Suri winds his way in, taken down. Suri falls. Racing to it, it's Janis Sprooks. Long stretch here in the third period between whistles as Sprooks brings it in. And Drassis waiting for it. And Gehring steps into him. Now Fiala bumped there by Sprooks. The Swiss got bottled up for a moment. Now Gehring has it and puts it down to the Latvian zone. Shots are decidedly in favor of Switzerland overall, but only 3-2 here in the third period, so the Swiss trying to muster some offense. Not getting much going. Yossi winds it down in the Latvian zone. Yerofeev knocks it down. Darzic swings that rink wide, looking ahead for Zaric. That's knocked away by Yossi. Out to Romy. Ahead to Brunner. Damian Brunner tried to wind his way in. Knocked away by Sapulis, and back comes Latvia, 3-on-1. There's an in-shoot to the save made by Reto Berra, as Andrei Zaric almost had his second of the game. Now Romy taps it back for Eric Bloom. Latvia's had only 6 shots on goal since the end of the first period, but continues to lead 1-0 here in the third period. Just after 6 p.m. local time here in Prague. Still to come tonight, it's Canada against Sweden on day 6 of the World Hockey Championship. Here it's Latvia leading Switzerland 1-0. Gord Miller, Sean Simpson here. Sean, a former head coach of the Swiss World Championship and Olympic teams, watching this Swiss team continue to struggle offensively.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting the last 10 minutes here what they do with their lineup when they shorten their bench to 3 lines and keep the quick shifts going and get the pressure at the net. Like
shoots Masalskas down, and Ambuel trying to reach for it. Couldn't get to it. And back it goes to Helbling. Now Andres Ambuel trying to reach to it. Can't get the puck. And it's knocked out by Sapulis. Back goes Helbling for it. Raucous gatherings here, even when the host Czechs aren't playing. Of course, we're kind of at the crossroads of Central Europe, so easy for German, Swiss.
Oh, people come from all over this tournament. It's a fantastic atmosphere, not only in the arena, but in the city and all around. It's really a great experience for a hockey fan.
Chance there for Ambuel. The pad save again by Edgars Masalskas. He might retire that left pad tonight, and the right pad won't be far behind.
Latvia playing very solidly 5-on-5 here. If they can stay out of the box here, they got a heck of a chance to win this game here.
Christianis Redlis plays it across here. Fans a shot saved by Berra. Rebound and fanning on the chance in front of Soliedis. Berzic plays it down to Soliedis. Yerofeev's couldn't knock it down, but he slammed down Helbling. Schwarzkopf, who's behind the goal, poked away from him by Grossman. Berzic plays it down to Schwarzkopf. Comes free to Bukart. Now played back for Christianis Redlis. His shot is blocked by Matthias Bieber, but the Swiss can't clear it out. Bieber to the line, but not out. Long shot by Bukart, saved by Berra. Loose puck in front. Berra's down. The puck is still loose. It's under Helbling. Schwarzkopf was jabbing at it. And Tino Helbling gets pitchforked in front of his netminder, falling on that loose puck.
The Swiss had 2 or 3 chances to clear the zone there. They don't clear it, they get in trouble. It happens at this level. And Berra bobbled the rebound there. Reminded me of the goal that Daniel Elverson scored in the Olympics against us to beat us 1-0 in Sochi.
And that puck was smothered almost literally by Helbling. So 9:39 to go here in the third period. And much of the play here has been in the Swiss zone. A long drive taken there by Sabolkas, kicked out by Berra. In comes Brunner. He's stripped of the puck by Maxim Sirikov. Sirikov's a 32-year-old veteran who spent the last 3 years playing in Switzerland, mostly in the Swiss B-League. Gillis Redlis had that knocked away. As racing back on him was Hollenstein. Strike up ahead for Romy. In comes Romy with a chance. Pulls it back. Works back in the corner. Back goes to Gehring. Gehring's long shot. Masalskas gets a blocker on that. The shot from a sharp angle by Brunner, trying to bank that in off Masalskas. And he swatted that away. Mark Streit up ahead. Finds Andres Ambuel. And Ambuel chips it in. Plays around looking for Bodenman. Gets crunched in the corner by Galvin. Now racing to it is Sutniks. And Dogovic trying to play it out. Yossi with a long shot. That deflected high and wide. Abdul centers it. Bieber with it now. In comes Bieber. Works around, try. Stopped by Masalskis. The rebound. Ambul turned away again by Edgars Masalskis, who is becoming the story in this hockey game.
Oh, he is the story. The unbelievable saves all night. Here's some examples of it. Tremendous. Some of the best saves you'll see.
That toe save on Cody Allman was unbelievable, and he collapsed near the end of the second period.
He's the reason it's 1-0 for Latvia here. But a big push.
Save on Grossman.
Yeah, big push by Switzerland now here.
Now the draw, one back to Bloom. The sharp angle drive knocked away by Masalskis. As Surrey got a shot away, so the bench is shortening now for the Swiss. Yerofeyev's up for Bukart. Trying to squeeze that by Bloom. And finally, they do kick the puck about 4 inches and get it out. Picked out now by Fiala. Kevin Fiala for Roman Yossi. In comes Yossi with a chance. Yossi back in front, taking a backhand shot away. Masalskis was almost literally in the net. And once again, Masalskis is slow getting to his feet. Just now, and Edgars Masalskis appears to be in some distress in the Latvian crease.
Or he may be just getting tired, Gordon. He's had a lot of work this afternoon.
In comes Cody Allman, a bouncing puck in front. That's knocked away by Sabalskis. Back comes Solietis the other way. He's got Berzic with him. Solietis works in. He was poke checked there, and a good defensive play by Patrick Gehring. Now Bukart's reaching for it. Berzic spins and shoots. That goes high and wide. Picked out for Fiala as Romy found him. In comes Fiala. Drops it for Streit. Mark Streit in with a shot. And that was blocked by Sabalskis. And Sabalskis goes ahead for Janis Sprooks. Latvia's changing as Sprooks walks in and buys some time. In comes Sprooks. He centers it. And then pass for Sabalskis just missed. He was all alone in front. 6:40 to go in the third period. Latvia trying to make a 1-0 lead stand up.
They really are. They're playing 1-2-2, playing back. They might get burnt by it by being a bit too passive. They should maybe try a bit more forechecking here.
Ambul comes in, looks down to Grossman. Here's Ambul from a sharp angle, works it back in front. Ambul shoots. Masalskis makes the save as the puck trickles through but wide. Now a long shot taken by Bruno. That's stopped by Masalskis. Grossman. Now low to Bieber. 6 to go in the period. Here's Grossman, a long shot. That was blocked. And now Sutnik sends it down. That's an unforced error by Latvia. At the end of a long shift, he ices the puck. And Latvian coach Alexandrs Belauskas may have to call timeout here to get his guys some rest.
I mentioned before the energy level. I thought it would be the other way around. Switzerland playing last night, but Latvia seems to be a little tired now in the last 3 or 4 minutes here. Switzerland making a big push here.
Now, Belauskas made the signal for timeout.
Looked like he was calling.
They're saying he waited too long?
Might have.
Can't you call timeout anytime?
You should be able to.
Well, they bought enough time with all the rubbing around, so now Sutniks has it, but Latvia needs this out to get a change. Zaric plays it ahead. He heads to the bench. Andrassis now works it in deep. 4 Swiss players converge on him, but Latvia got 4 of the 5 skaters off the ice. Surrey pokes it ahead, knocked out by Dogovic, and the play's offside at the Latvian line. 5:36 to go in the third. Can Latvia make this lead stand up? Well, the last 2 games in this arena have ended 1-0. And the third is 1-0 with 5:36 to go. We saw the Swiss get burned for a late goal to tie a game against Austria. Now they need a late goal to even this game against Latvia.
You can bet Yossi's going to play about 3.5 minutes of this 5.
Here is it now. Yossi in across the line, but again it's called offside. Ambul was ahead of the play. Roman Yossi, just 24 years of age, already playing in his 6th World Championship. Played 3 World Juniors for the Swiss. There's Glenn Hamlin, who is coaching his 3rd different country at the World Championship. Previously the coach of Belarus
and Slovakia. Yep.
You Canadians are everywhere. Hollenstein. That's took the line by Yerofeyev. Janis Redlis plays it back. The only power play of this period has gone to Latvia. Switzerland was called for too many men, and now plays offside at the Swiss line. We got 5:05 to go in the third period. Just not a lot of push coming from Switzerland here in waves.
In waves they come at you. They'll be sending their D all the time now, and but they need to get more pressure at the net. They look good. They skate well. They play well, but there's not a lot of sustained pressure at the net for second and third chances on the rebounds.
Fired down by Strike now. Inside 5 to go in the third period. Gehring shoots, and through the screen, Masalskis makes the save. Here's Strike with it now. Back at the point. Surrey with a drive. That was blocked by Ebo. Gehring shoots again. That was blocked. Rebound loose in front. Oh, what a stop by Masalskis. Rebound still loose. Surrey digging for it. And now the Latvian net is dislodged. And we've got Surrey knocked down and behind the play. And the Swiss are arguing that Latvia deliberately knocked the net off.
They might have an argument there. I don't think they're going to get the call, though.
What a save again. This time by Masalskis.
That's got to be over 30 saves now.
It is.
And at least 15 huge ones.
Now, who knocked the net off here? Look at Surrey calling for a penalty and getting a snow shower for his trouble at the end. There are no penalties being called. What a stop by Masalskis in tight on Mark Strike. And then all of this happened. And it was kind of Sabalskis who knocked it off, but he was tied up by a Swiss player.
On the Latvian side, they got to start moving their feet. Their stand is still too much here.
Brunner plays it down to Bieber. And Bieber spins back in the corner. Drops it back for Gehring. Gehring loose it behind the goal. Masalskis down. Gehring back with it. Lost the puck. And Andrasis has it now for Latvia. Back out to center ice. A Strike picks it up. We have not yet, John, seen the Patrick Waugh early pull become a part of the European game like it has in the NHL, where teams might pull their goaltender with 2.5 or 3 to go in the third period.
Oh, I think if it was the score was different here, I think you'll see Glenn Hanlon maybe do that. In fact, I discussed that with Glenn about a month ago. We had a little debate like coaches do about what to do on different situations and the early pulls and situations like that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that from Glenn Hanlon. Maybe not from a European coach. They tend not to do some of the things that the North American coaches do, like line matching and stuff like that. But from Glenn, with his NHL and North American experience, you might see that.
3:58 to go in the third period. The face-off in the Latvian zone. Allman steps in against Sprooks. And Cody Allman, the Calgary native, wins the draw. Now Fiala with a drive. That's off the stick of Andrasis, up and out. And we've got another face-off in the Latvian zone.
And they're trying to slow the play down here. The Swiss definitely got the momentum here. It'll be an interesting last 4 minutes.
Shots are 33-18 in favor of Switzerland.
And that's jumped way up in the last 10 minutes here.
Zarich against Allman on the face-off. The draw controlled by Latvia. Yerofeyev's for Darzic, who chips it down. And Yossi has to hustle back with Dogovic all over him. Yossi drops it back for Bloom. And now Bloom for Fiala. Yerofeyev's up for Darzic. And Yossi back to pick it up. Roman Yossi winds ahead now. Swings it rink wide for Fiala to Allman, who stays onside. 4 wide. Allman centers it. Masalskis the save. And the puck bounced in behind Yossi. Barrow remains in the Swiss goal. Janis Redlis battling for it. Zarich got it to the line, but not out. Allman chips it down to Fiala. He was stripped. Banged back out by Solietis. And that'll be an icing call against Latvia. 2:54 to go now in the third period. This is the point where some NHL coaches would consider pulling their goaltender.
I think the Latvia coach could consider a timeout here. He's got some...
Yeah, he's calling timeout. And this time he will get it.
But you're right. You might see the goalie. You might see the Glenn wait until they get possession of the puck. Make sure they got possession of the puck off his face-off. And you might see Berra come out.
So to recap the tournament for the Swiss, the game against Austria, they led the entire way until the late stage of the final minute of the third period. They gave a tying goal, then Austria won that game in a shootout, leaving Switzerland with 1 point. Then the Swiss managed to beat France 3-1, got a late empty net goal there. Yesterday, a white knuckler against Germany to win 1-0. And now in tight against Latvia. So Switzerland has 7 points, but with Sweden, Canada, and the Czechs still on the schedule, they likely need more.
That's why you see the urgency on the Swiss team. They know the importance of a point or two or three here. They know the schedule that they have in front of them. Although, like I said before, they've played well against Canada and Sweden and Czech, but to get the points here would be vital.
Romy in for the face-off against Zaric. And Romy digging in, wins the drawback. Hollenstein, but Hollenstein played it back, and that drew Gehring out. Berra made no move to the bench there, and now as Hollenstein brings it across, the play's offside. 2:47 to go here in the third period.
If you look back to Sochi last year with the Swiss, all our games were 1-0 except for the last game against Latvia. We either won them 1-0 or lost them 1-0. We beat the Czechs, we lost to the Swedes, we beat the Latvians in the pre-round, all 1-0. So it's kind of a theme with the Swiss.
It's okay when you're the one.
Exactly.
Face off, one back to Gehring. Squeezed off the puck by Berzic. Volskas tries to play it around. Now Romy on it. Berra remains in the Swiss goal, and Hanlon's not looking back. 2.5 to go. Now Hollenstein trying to dig it out. And Bukarts chips it but can't get it out. And now chipped up finally by Berzic. And back down to the Swiss zone. Both teams can change now. Streit swings back, being watched there by Indrasic. Bloom for Bieber. 2 to go in the third period. Bieber fires it down. Hanlon telling Berra to wait just for now. Now a centering pass for Ambuel. He misses. Bloom shoots. Save Masalski. Rebound, score! The Swiss have tied it with 1:51 to go. A bouncing puck in front might have gone in off a Latvian player. The Swiss scarcely care. It's 1-1.
I thought the Latvians were playing with fire. They're laying back too much in the neutral zone, giving the Swiss speed through the neutral zone, and this was a perfect example. Got in the forecheck and finally got the bounce they've been lacking the whole game off a Latvian defenseman, or Sprooks, I think it was. Bieber off Sprooks and into the net.
Yeah, Bieber shoots it. It bounces off Janis Sprooks into the Latvian goal. And this game is tied at 1. To the dismay of the Latvians.
You have to say the Swiss earned that. They've been the better team over the full 60 minutes here, almost 60 minutes.
So Bieber with his second of the tournament. He made it 3-2 in favor of Switzerland in the third period against Austria. Let's see the Austrians come back and tie it.
But so, great character by the Swiss. They knew the importance of this game, or any point from this game, and the last period they played, especially in the last 10 minutes, they've been a force.
That was the 35th shot that went in on Masalskis. Now Dogovic with it. We've got a Swiss defender, Bieber, now without a stick, as Berra sweeps that away. So overtime and potentially a shootout looming. Yossi falls in the corner. Ambuel on it. Does Latvia have a pushback here? Darzic to the point. Berzic feeds it back down. Yerofeev on it, puts it off the back of the goal. Now Berra's got no stick. Berra's got no stick in the Swiss goal. Now he gets a defenseman stick from Bloom. He gets a forward stick from Bodenman. Not exactly how you want to play a 1-1 game with a minute to go in your own zone. Yerofeev's on it. And now that puck goes up and out, and this is going to be a penalty against Switzerland. Bloom is arguing the puck hit the glass. And it's too late to argue, and apparently the officials are not huddling. This is going to be a delay of game penalty against Switzerland with 59 seconds to go. A penalty that would carry over to overtime if the Latvians don't score. Look at the goal.
That's a harsh call there. Like I said, that's the break that Switzerland finally got. They had some pucks went behind their goalie there all night, and lucky to stay out. But that one, well deserved by the Swiss. They really pushed in the last 7 to 10 minutes.
So here's a Latvian power play. Their second of the period. The first was too many men. Now it's delay of game. Not exactly aggression penalties. Brooks, Michaelis Redless, and Grass is up front in the power play. Christianis Redless and Oskar Sabolkas on the back end. Now Brooks with it. Loose in front, drops it back. Sabolkas a shot. He fanned on it and went right to Michaelis Redless. Redless with it now. 45 seconds to go in the period. Sabolkas across to Redless. Back he goes to Christianis Redless. To Sabolkas, he shoots, and Rico Berra makes the glove save and hangs on.
Rato's going to make every save like that. Nobody in front of him. Got to get some traffic in front of the goal at this level. Very, very rarely you beat a goalie at this level when he can see everything from the blue line.
36 seconds to go in the period. Michaelis Redless plays it back to his brother Christianis. Across to Sabolkas. Oskar Sabolkas. Now the centering pass from Grass is picked off. Strike plays it ahead, and Julian Walker fires it down to the Latvian zone. 20 seconds to go in the period. Michaelis Redless poked away by Shappy. So Rito Shappy getting a rare shift here, killing a penalty late in the 1-1 game. He's barely played this afternoon. And Drasis works his way in. Final seconds now in Drasis. Loose in behind the goal to get tied up. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Brooks sends it back in front. Latvia and Switzerland will both get a point and will decide the third one in overtime or a shootout here on day 6 at the 2015 World Hockey Championship. Welcome back to Prague. Day 6 of the World Hockey Championship. Latvia will have 1 minute and 1 second of power play time to start this period. And because we're in overtime, it's a 4-on-3 power play for the Latvians. So lots of room. If the 5-minute overtime period settles nothing, it's on to a shootout.
Yeah, Latvia has to settle down here. They gave up the late goal. They can't be affected by that. They got to stay in the moment here and move on. They got a great chance here. 1 minute, 4-on-3. They got to show some urgency, and they can still grab 2 points from this game.
Eric Bloom goes off for delay of game, putting the puck over the glass with under 1 minute to go in the third period. Morris Tractor to face off against Janis Sprooks. Switzerland lost a shootout in its opener against Austria, giving up a late tying goal in that game and falling 4-3. And the Swiss controlled for a moment off the faceoff. Now Dogovic had it. Kasper Dogovic to Loris Darzic. Back for Sabolkas. Darzic shoots. Save made by Berra with Sprooks standing in front. Here's Dogovic back with it. Feeds it down to Sprooks. Janis Sprooks. Lots of room now for Dogovic. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Sabolkas to Dogovic. Elects not to shoot. Now Sabolkas having a look. Lots of traffic. Here's Darzic with it. Darzic. Sabolkas fires. Pad save by Berra. Rebound tap wide there by Sprooks. Hit an open net. Dogovic back with it. 25 seconds to go in the power play. Sabolkas to Darzic. Back to Sabolkas to Darzic. Sprooks standing in front. 15 seconds to go. Dogovic, Darzic, back to Dogovic, 10 seconds to go. Dogovic winds in, waits, drops it back. Darzic fires, it's on the outside of the goal post. Nailed the outside of the pipe. Final seconds now, the power play. Another chance for Brooks. Works it back in front. Dogovic with a chance. That was blocked. Bloom comes racing in. That's knocked away. Bloom's fresh out of the box. And Darzic held on to knock the puck away from him. So some nervous moments for the Swiss. And now icing call against Switzerland with 3:45 to go in the OT.
Very good power play by Latvia. Lots of movement, lots of rotation, a couple of good shots. Brooks always in front of the goal, which is the key. Almost tipped one in and had an empty netter for the winner.
There's a shot fired wide by Brooks, and then maybe the best chance, Darzic tipped it off the pipe. So now the Swiss will use their timeout after the icing call. They had some tired players on the ice from the end of that penalty kill.
That's a good call by Glenn, getting everybody regrouped. They have to get through that 1-minute penalty kill at the start of overtime. Now he can regroup the team here and then make a push here for the last 3:45. I like Switzerland's energy. I like their chances here in the last part of overtime.
Well, the first mission's been accomplished. They got a point out of this. Down 1-0 with under 5 to go.
Very important point.
So now they've got 8. Latvia's got its first. So as you said, for these teams, stage 1, avoid relegation. Stage 2, get to the quarterfinal. That means a top 4 finish in the group.
Correct.
Tracks on the face-off against Michaelis Redlis. Fresh legs on the ice now for Latvia. And off the face-off win by Traxler, Gearing plays it out. And this time rolls it softly down, and icing is waved off as Sutniks goes back. Surrey almost knocked that down. Now Michaelis Redlis with it in behind the goal. Galvich got dumped and was slow to get to his feet. Held now by Grossman, who fires it around. Ambul chips it to an open corner, and Drasus gets there for Latvia. On his backhand, a tough play. He finds Sutnik. Sutnik's bottled up though by Ambul. Ambul wins the battle for the puck. And Surrey sent it back, but no one there for Switzerland. Barry drops it back for Grossman. Robin Grossman was the defenseman caught pitching on the Latvian goal by Andras Zeric. Now Brunner swings it rink wide for Streit. Streit for the trailer Bieber, that's picked off, and a chance now the other way for Dogovic. He's got Darzic with him. Dogovic works in, crisscrossing, starts in, shoots, plays it back, they score! Kasper Dogovic, the overtime winner, and Latvia takes it 2-1. With his third goal this World Championship.
You'll see here the idea of 4 against 4 is to get your D up in the play. Mark Streit's up there. He tried a back pass and was picked up by, and they came the other way with a great passing play with a forward, Matthias Bieber, playing back for Switzerland. He's not used to playing that situation. A great 2-on-2 crisscross play and a great goal to finish this game. Too bad for Switzerland. I thought they had a great effort, but great job by Latvia hanging in there for the 2 points.
Kaspar Dogovic scores the overtime winner. Latvia's got 2 points now and is in the chase for a medal round spot.
The 2015 IIHF World Hockey Championship